Hello. Well, today I want to talk about a topic that affects millions of people, balancing full-time work and caregiving. Whether you're caring for an aging parent, a loved one with special needs, or even children, juggling those responsibilities while maintaining a career can feel overwhelming. So how I was able to balance my full-time job and taking care of mom in 2020 after she had her COVID and then stroke was to take advantage of our technologies. I know that being a caregiver is not a small task. It's emotionally, physically, and mentally exhausting. On top of that, many of us are also working full-time jobs. That means constantly balancing meetings, deadlines, and caregiving duties. So it can feel like there's not enough time in the day, and often we're left feeling burnt out of we're not doing enough in either roles, right? So speaking of balance, I've been in that exact position myself. So when mom had a stroke, I was not allowed to go visit her at the hospital because it was COVID time. My mom clings on me a lot, and I knew that if she's alone at the hospital, she would panic. So what I did was to ask the nurse to make sure to always have us connected on Messenger video chat 24/7 actually. Now, of course, you don't have to do 24/7, but this was what I did back in 2020. I wanted her to feel that I was always there by her side, even though I was actually working at the office. So there was an option for small businesses to not completely shut down. So the company I worked for was still open for business, and we would still went to the office to work. So I just like the empty road that time I was driving on anyway. So after mom was discharged from the hospital and was recovering from stroke, I continued to connect with her 24/7 via my phone and the camera at home while working full-time outside the house. But deep within, I knew that something had to change, so I don't need to rely on these technologies, because even though the technologies made life a bit more convenient, it was still not ideal to leave mom alone in the house, right? So that was when I started preparing to shift from working outside full-time to working from home as a coach. But there was a problem. I was camera shy, and I didn't feel comfortable showing up online all the time, and didn't even know exactly what I wanted to coach on. So I felt like I knew a lot of things, but not everything, which made me doubt myself. So at that time, my mentor, Dean Graziosi, gave us some great advice. He told us that we don't have to be an expert to be a coach or coach others. We just have to be one step ahead. So that really resonated with me and gave me the confidence to get started. Even though I wasn't perfect, I wasn't completely an expert. I prepped myself as best as I could despite my doubts. So I decided to call myself the shy coach to embrace that part of me. So, and while I was still figuring things out, I got certified to train aging folks in Tai Chi. I even helped my mom with modified Tai Chi exercises, which really helped her recovery on stroke. It wasn't easy, but I was determined to blend caregiving with coaching in a way that worked for me. So now let's talk about how technology is making things easier for all of us now who are balancing caregiving and full-time work. So one of the biggest shifts we've seen is the rise of remote work. Tools like Zoom, Slack, and Google Meet allow us to work from anywhere now, which means you can attend the meeting from your living room, while keeping an eye on your loved ones. So it's all about having that flexibility. There are many jobs now too that don't require you to go in the office. So you can work remotely, but if that's not the option, Many employers are very understanding now in allowing us to work from home as long as we are always available, and available and we are still doing our jobs well. So for the doctor's appointment, if we can, they offer telehealth now, which is another game changer. No more driving across town for doctor appointments that could have been handled over a quick video chat. So if this is an option that's available for us, take advantage of this. Of course, for my mom, it wasn't an option because she needed a physical review all the time. So as a caregivers, we can also book virtual appointments and consult doctors and get prescriptions filled, all without leaving the home, right? So also there's wearable tech like smartwatches and health trackers. These devices can monitor your loved one's health stats, remind them to take their meds, and even alert you if something's wrong. It's like having a little health assistant right on their wrist. We also use this blood pressure monitor that's not bulky, so we can take it anywhere we go without taking up so much space in my bag. So it can also send all the data collected to her doctor. And I use a lot of the smart home devices and, like the cameras, the motion sensors, and smart assistants like Alexa or Google Home, which helped me monitor her activities and also provide reminders or call for help if needed, all while you're at work. I remember whenever she's not seen on the camera, I would start talking to her and ask her where she's at. usually in the restroom, but she'll respond and I would feel much better knowing that she's okay. So the benefits of using tech as a caregiver are huge actually. First, it gives you flexibility. You can manage caregiving tasks and stay on top of your work responsibilities, which helps reduce stress. And second, it helps improve the quality of your care that you provide by keeping tabs on their health stats and appointments. You're more proactive and organized, of course. So plus, it brings peace of mind. You don't have to be physically present at all times, but you're still connected and can check in whenever necessary. So it allows you to focus on both your career and your caregiving without feeling like you're dropping the ball. So of course there are some challenges, especially if your loved ones isn't tech savvy like my mom. They may struggle to adapt to some of the tools. Plus, for some people, there's the risk of burnout if you're constantly connected and trying to be on all the time. So finding that balance is also the key. But of course, the purpose of my video is just to give you ideas on how I was able to manage my time between caregiving and working full-time. Well, the goal is to help take the pressure off caregivers so that we can focus on what really matters, spending quality time with our loved ones. So in short, what I want to say is technology isn't just making it possible to balance full-time work and caregiving, it's also improving the quality of both. So whether you're using remote work tools, telehealth services, or smart home devices, these innovations can actually help caregivers like us feel less overwhelmed and more in control. So I encourage you to just explore these tools and see how they can help you manage your responsibilities while still being there for the people who need you. So I hope my video gives you some idea on how to balance your full-time work and caregiving. See you next time.